WDXE News, on the air since 1951. This is The Legend. 105.3, 95.3, WDXE.
Hey, that's us. It's WDXE, and Bill Adams is in the house. It's the Rent Right Hour. Hey, buddy.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you this morning?
Doing great. What about you?
Well, I've got over the weekend. The holiday threw me off. I took off on purpose, and we had a nice one. But when you're used to getting up and then sleep late, you know, the next morning is like, oh my gosh, I sure did miss sleeping late again. So
what is sleeping late?
Well, you know, I don't do it very often, not very often at all. But late for me is anything after 6 o'clock.
That's normal, right?
That's late. Anything after 6 o'clock, I'm late.
I hear you. Yeah.
Because I'm usually up. My alarm is set for 4:45 every morning.
4:45.
Yeah, 4:45.
Okay.
And so that's the way I start my day. And I've been doing it so long that I usually wake up then anyway. But even on the holiday, I woke up, but I was like, oh yeah, I'm not going in today. So I rolled over.
Okay.
And took a little longer nap.
Okay.
So it was good.
That's great.
It was good. What'd y'all do this weekend?
Well, worked around the house there and cooked a few hot dogs.
Did you do the tradition? We grilled too. Did you do that?
We did. Yeah, good time with family and
Yeah.
hung out a little bit and
Yeah.
saw a niece that headed to med school.
Oh really?
And she's going to DC to med school, and so
Oh really?
we're excited about her flying out today. So got to
Awesome.
see her for a few hours,
Well, good for her.
and so it was good. Yep.
Good for her, man. Jimmy Ann do anything over the weekend? She keep everybody straight?
Yes, me. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I want to mention that you know, me and my family, we got to see you guys on Sunday. We took we took the opportunity to visit the Thousand Hills Cowboy Church, where you were the speaker Sunday.
I was just every now and then. I have the privilege of speaking.
Yeah.
And so it's always fun.
We did a good job. We did a good job. Teresa said she really enjoyed it, and I did. We enjoyed being there. Daniel, John Daniel, I should say, my grandbaby, he was sitting on me for a majority of the service and was crawling me up once. I wrestled him the entire time, just about. He was happy. He was happy as he could be, and playing. He was sticking his legs through the seat. You know, the seats that you've got that little gap at your back.
Oh, yeah.
So he was laying down, sticking his legs through there, and sticking his arms through there, and reaching for stuff. He was entertaining the gentleman that was sitting behind me.
Sure. That's right.
So, but anyway, good message and a good bunch of folks. We enjoyed our visit there.
We appreciate that.
Thousand Hills Cowboy Church there. You guys been a part of that for a good while.
Yes, sir.
Almost from the get-go.
We came in a year later.
Yeah.
Started in 07. We got there in 08.
Yeah.
So it's a good group of folks. And,
Yeah.
you know, the wranglers from around the area, and so it's a good fellowship.
Well, you know, I know you guys are named the Cowboy Church, but it's not all about cowboying.
No,
It's an actual church.
well, it is. It sure is.
Yeah. And that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, you and I have, over the past several years, I guess, we've been regular visitors with each other for one reason or another. You know, off and on, here and there. Me and you've taken occasions to sit and talk many times.
Yes, sir.
Gotten to know each other. Of course, I've known you since high school.
Yes, sir.
But we've gotten to know each other, I guess, over the years, even more so, and you're in your family, and have always just enjoyed it. But I've watched you guys from the beginning at Rent Right. Of course, your dad started it. You were there from the beginning, and really hadn't done much of anything else, have you?
No,
I'm just thinking. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You know, pretty much out of high school, you started with that.
Yeah, we did. I've never turned in a job application.
I was going to say.
I don't know how you do that.
I was going to say you've one of those folks who've been blessed to have a business to take a hold of, and it took a hold of you, evidently.
It is. It's it's been good. The people of Lawrence County and surrounding have been really good to us. And we've always had that mindset of attempting to be givers and
Yeah.
back into the community. And you know, be able to give, you got to have something to give. And we felt like that just ourselves was something worth attempting to give. And we've been a part of a lot of different projects around. And the most fun that I have is actually doing delivery of equipment to people's property.
Yeah.
And seeing what they've got going on and the progress that they're trying to make in their lives and with their homes and their businesses. And so it's really been.
I was going to say, over the years, doing what you do, you have got to meet a lot of folks who do things, you know, who are on projects of one sort or another. Either it's on their farm or it's at their house, or it could be just about anything. I was thinking, what could be or what would be one of the most unusual things, maybe? And I know I'm surprising you with that, but maybe you hadn't thought about that. But
you know, some of these places we've gone is, or maybe even projects that I don't get to see. They say drop the equipment here. We don't allow anybody past the entrance.
Oh,
And,
really?
So, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, very. And so come back next week and pick it up.
wow.
So you know, anything from the hippie farm to you know, renting concrete equipment to the Amish, our Amish friends.
Yeah.
Loading equipment back of their wagons, and it's kind of unusual, but yeah, we've been all over, sure have.
That's good. That's good. Well, I've watched it over the years too, evolve into what it is today. And way back when, one of the things that I have, and it's still there, one or two, is the barber chairs.
Barber chairs are there. I'll tell you a little quick story.
What's
about
the story behind the barber chairs?
The barber chairs, they're actual barber chairs.
They are.
Our store.
They are.
And we've got another piece or two that I'll comment on. But barber chairs, one of them came from Jackson, Mississippi, and my dad had friends in the barber industry.
Right.
Barbershops and so forth, and so that one came from Jackson, Mississippi. We were from North Louisiana.
Right.
And then the other one, actually, the round bottom chair, actually came from a local barber that was part of the Lawrenceburg barbershop on the square.
Oh, okay.
And there's a picture or two, Jeff, that's floating around, and you'll see 5 square bottom chairs and 1 round bottom chair. And
okay.
That's the chair that in the early 1900s sat in the Lawrenceburg barbershop.
The round bottom chair.
Yep.
Okay.
And so I bought it from a fella from Etheridge. His dad was the barber in Lawrenceburg, and the last name was Morrow. So I believe I can go back and verify that.
Yeah.
But we bought it from him, and he promised me that we would take care of it.
They don't make barber chairs like they used to.
No, it's so much fun. And I thought about updating those and recovering them and making it a showpiece, but then people they don't want to sit in it after that.
Yeah.
So they're original.
I have sat in that chair many times coming into the shop there talking,
Yeah.
either with you or your dad early on, and it's just been a part of the shop there for many, many years.
Quick story, we had removed those chairs and put them over in the old building, and trying to make space for shelving and so forth.
Sure.
And we actually had customers that just threw a fit. And,
I think I probably would have been one of them. I
Yeah.
said, you got to put those back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah. But also, we have the old popcorn machine out of the.
I was going to ask you about that
Yeah,
too next.
I'm sorry. The Crockett Theater, and this was during the days they were thinking of demolishing the old Crockett Theater, and so Dad, coming out of the movie theater industry, that was our family, his family. They had some of the first movie theaters in Louisiana and Texas.
I remember you telling me
Yeah.
about that. Come to think of it.
So he knew what it was, and he heard about the going to demolish. So he bought the popcorn machine out of there, and it works. And Miss Jim Ann's in charge of the popcorn. So
That's right. Y'all have popcorn there pretty much every day, don't you?
Mostly it's, just depends on her mood. So, but all you gotta do is ask her and she'll make you some.
There's nothing like the smell of that, popcorn from movie theater popcorn.
That's right.
And that is actually a movie theater popcorn popper.
Popcorn
It's
popper.
big too. It's
Yeah,
a big one.
It is. The only other one that I know of was in the Moore's store, and I believe it's in the jail museum now.
It may
I
be.
believe Curtis Peters has it in the jail museum. Yeah.
Y'all have had, and I know we're kind of veering off on some of the collections, but having been in your store a few times, not only a couple of things like that, but old tools have been a favorite of some of the collections you've done and that kind of thing. That's kind of interesting, but that's part of the area or the arena that you guys have operated in.
Yeah, it is. We love old tools, and I've got a lot I need to get hung back up on the wall. We redid everything.
That's right.
Inside of our store, remodeled, used Amish lumber inside, poplar. It's a really cool look, we feel like. And, black drop ceiling. If you haven't been by, please come by and take a look.
Yeah.
So,
if you hadn't been in there in a while, you need to. Yeah.
A lot of the tools they're Amish tools, maybe tobacco cutting tools or hay scythes, they call them. And one of the piece of equipment, it was just an old, you ever heard the phrase, Jeff, dull as a fro?
Dull as a fro.
As a fro?
No.
It's what you cut shingles with. You'll have a mallet and a fro.
Okay.
And then the cutting edge of the fro is actually supposed to be dull.
Oh, really?
That way it won't split the cedar-shaped shingles too bad.
Okay.
Old man Johnson, if you remember him, he used to make handles and sharpen tools. He had a couple of places in Lawrenceburg.
Yes.
The last job that he did was on the Highland Park Baptist Church. He built their little picnic area.
Okay.
Now it's already gone now, but that was in the 70s.
Yeah.
So he gave me his mallet and his fro, and he saw my collection, wanted me to hang them up there. Mr. Johnson died. He was close to 100 when he passed, and he told me that he had gotten those from his granddad.
Oh, really?
So that's going to be way back in the 1800s.
That's got to be.
Yeah.
And when you said the cedar shakes, it came up that I had heard of the fro, but I wouldn't have thought about the fro.
Dull as a fro.
Dull as a fro. I wouldn't have thought about that. But when you mentioned the shakes, it rung a bell. I remember seeing that now.
It's a lot of memories, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I just like old stuff.
Well, kind of eclectic in your collection too, aren't you, bud?
Eclectic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, listen, let's talk a little bit about some stuff happening this time of year. Of course, grass is growing like mad.
About every 3 days right now.
I'm telling you, grass is growing like mad. And you'd sent me a message earlier. We were talking about it, about how that, and this affects my world.
Yes, sir.
Selling real estate.
Yes, sir.
A manicured lawn and landscaping can make a tremendous difference in your home. Yes. Not only just general appearance for you every day, but especially if you're marketing that place. Mm-hmm. To have an unkept yard just diminishes from the overall attraction and even the value. Mm-hmm. It can affect that. Mm-hmm. And of course, that's something that you're directly involved in a lot and have been for years with the Hustler line of mowers and equipment and the people that you supply.
Yes, sir. I just, Jimmy and I love to ride around and look at the different areas. And what we find that's very attractive to us, it's not the new homes, but it's the older homes that are very well kept.
Oh, yeah.
Ones that the trees are kept nice, the yard's kept great, the little flower beds are kept. And, I'm not talking elegant, I'm just talking about kept. And ditches are weed eated out and the driveway looks nice. It's got to improve the value of your real estate. So, I've said for years now that especially Lawrence County, Roundup, we're doing such a much better job of keeping the your yards manicured, and so we feel like it's a direct correlation to great equipment, having availability of equipment.
Yes. I agree. That was my wife calling, and she knows I'm on radio, so maybe everything's all right. I've sent her a message.
Okay.
Maybe she's not remembering that I'm on late today.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, no, what I was going to ask you about, you mentioned that, and you have all the equipment to make that easier.
We do.
That's, yard work is not necessarily easy work,
Right.
but if you got great equipment to work with, it's much easier.
Yeah. There's a lot of things like aerators
Yeah.
to oversee. You know, the days of having to till up your ground to oversee, that's over. You can rent or buy aerators.
Right.
That's actually pulling a plug, overseed, fertilize, and the aeration
Yeah.
is the way to go. You're not completely destroying a yard to be able to get it maybe to grow back in the fall.
Yeah.
So simple equipment, readily available. Spend just a few dollars and be back in business.
Well, I can tell you from my own experience of when you're trying to do something and you don't have the right equipment to do it with, it's very frustrating.
That's right.
If you have the good equipment, have the right tools, it's so much easier.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you did this, but I know we did. We used a sling blade
Yes.
to clean out ditches
Oh,
and
yeah.
fence rows for years.
Yeah.
I remember in the 70s, late 70s and 80s, they came out with something called a weed eater. Okay?
Yes.
A gas-powered weed eater, and I was just wondered, where have these things been
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
for my early part of my life?
Yes.
Yeah.
When they first came out, everybody's like, "Holy cow! The sling blade began to die out at that
It
point."
sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember Richardson Hardware on the square?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
My dad woke me up one morning when I was a freshman in high school. He said, "Are you hungry?" "Yes, sir." And I knew we were going fishing. It's about 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And "Are you hungry?" "Yes, sir." He fed me good. And he said, "You might want to put on some blue jeans and bring your boots." We went to Richardson Hardware and bought 2 brand new sling blades.
Oh boy.
So that was our summer. That was our summer work. Yeah.
So there's no fishing.
There wasn't no fishing.
There was no fishing.
Yeah. No fishing at all.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
I bet you remember those days
Oh yeah.
of working as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Used to clean out the fence row. We had another tool, and I don't know what you call this thing, but it had a long handle. It had a blade on the end that had a hook.
Yeah.
And
Hook blade.
It was a hook blade, and it was like for cleaning out from under,
Yeah.
cutting briars out of fence rows and all that kind of stuff.
They came in different sizes.
Yeah.
So,
Dad had one that was big enough to give a Viking.
oh, I know. Yeah.
So
I was so glad when school started back during those days.
yeah, yeah. What about digging post holes?
We can dig post holes, gas powered. We can sit on a bobcat
Not
loader
this
now.
way, not the old fashioned way.
No, but we've got it. We rent them. Absolute fabulous. You know, if you want to be a hero for someone, for just a few dollars a day, you can rent one of those from us. And
That is a
be
hero.
done.
That's a hero move right
It
there.
sure
To have a
is.
good fence poster, and of course now they've got the fence post drivers.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to go
Yeah.
for wood
Oh,
and
yeah.
and metal.
Yeah. And you have those?
I don't have those, but
Yeah.
readily available. A lot of guys are using them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a fantastic way to build fence these days.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. That, and of course that eliminates having to do the hand digging and using the big heavy bar to tamper them down with and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a quick story. We were putting up a fence, me and my dad, years ago, and cross fence or something, and we'd dug the holes and put the wood, and I'm tamping them down, and he's supposed to be shoveling the dirt in, and I'm tamping, using them. He had a big old heavy steel bar of some sort, axle thing or something, and I'm tamping it down. And for some reason he decides to take his foot and rake some in. And of course I hit him right in the top of the foot with it. And how many times does that happen, I wonder?
Y'all had cattle?
Oh yeah.
You raised a lot of cows.
We not a lot, but we had a hobby farm. You know, Dad kept some cows, so did a little hay hauling, did a little bit of that kind of stuff. Just a small cattle farm.
Yep.
And I always loved messing with them.
Yep.
Yeah, sure
Yep.
did.
Yep.
Sure did. Ease of use, that's the thing. You know, we've come up with a lot of modern conveniences. You were talking about those mowers last week that are robots.
Robot mower. We think
That's
it'll
crazy.
We think it'll be runs off 5G. Okay, so you program into your cell phone. Made by Crest. We think that it's going to be the new wave. Especially probably take 8 to 10 years for those to really kick in. They'll be in big towns before they're in small towns, but it's already happening.
It is, isn't it?
And it's on the edge. What we're seeing, Jeff, is people they want to spend their time at the soccer field or at the lake or at the river. They just don't want to spend time in the traditional way of doing yard work and those kind of things. So we're seeing not as much Saturday work, but people want to spend time with their kids.
Sure.
So rightfully so. Time saving, ease of use is what we're seeing that our society's demanding. So
well, you've come a long way in helping folks to get there with the equipment and things that you have available when you need it. Not only rental, but you also have equipment for purchase.
yeah, we've got a good website you can go to, rentrightequipment.com.
That's right.
If you want to kind of look around on there, different types of equipment that we have, and again, we consider ourselves a general rental center. Maybe not just in one particular area, like high lifts or concrete equipment, but it's a general, broad based equipment store. And so check that out, see what you can find on there.
What's the site again?
rentrightequipment.com.
rentrightequipment.com. Okay, cool. Great website. I've actually been there, but we need to repeat it for our folks
Yeah.
that are listening. That's good. You've got a summer sale going on.
We do. Hustler, they have several. Right now, they're the big promotion is in a particular mower called X1. It's our mid-range commercial mower for our commercial cutters, and very, very popular mower. X1 comes in different deck sizes, 48, 54, and 60. 60 being the most popular.
Yeah.
For commercial folks. Kawasaki engine, $700 off, just right off the top. You can also, for commercial guys, if you're a multi mower user,
Yes.
if you're buying 2 or 3, or if you're running that many, there's extra discounts for that.
Interesting.
So good warranty on the X1s, 4 years on the mower, 3 years on Kawasaki. We are a Kawasaki distributor. We can work on anything. If Kawasaki's on it, we can fix it. So,
Okay, cool.
any brand mowers, we can work on them. And if it's under warranty, we'll fix it under warranty for you.
Awesome, good. Awesome, good. Got a big facility over there.
We do. We've actually added on some lifts recently.
Yeah.
To make it more efficient for our techs. We work 3 full-time techs working on mowers, and got our parts department. Keep a lot of Kawasaki parts, Hustler parts, a lot of belts, blades, tires. We're doing a lot of tire repair. If you've got a front or rear tire that's giving you problems, just drop it off. A few hours, we'll have it ready for you.
Interesting.
Pick it up. Yep.
That reminds me of something. I've got a mower from you not too long ago, as you know, and it's got the new oil.
The synthetic.
Well, what I'm saying is I don't think it's got braking oil in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I'm ready. Probably it's been run enough now that the braking oil's. How soon should you do
I like 15 hours.
Yeah.
Different ones will have their own method, but 15 hours is good. A little story behind the synthetic oil.
Yeah.
Engines are burning so much hotter now because it's burning the corn syrup, the ethanol.
Yes.
And it has to burn hotter to keep that varnish out of your cylinders and
Yes.
off your valves. So they're designed to burn hotter.
Okay.
And to burn hotter, to be able to hold up, they have to have a better oil. So
Okay.
the synthetic oil that we sell through Kawasaki meets those specs. And so you're burning close to 2 times hotter than you were in 2011.
Really?
Yeah. And so run them wide open. Most all your engines straight out of the box, they're designed to run around 33 to 3600 RPMs. So to keep your engine cool, this is different from the old days. You need to run it wide open. Keeping your fans running wide open actually keeps the engine running cooler with that synthetic oil than running half throttle.
Yeah. So it's not advisable to try to mow and without being on full throttle.
No, you remember the old days when,
Yeah.
when your grandpa, I don't want to run it to death.
Yeah.
I remember my daddy running that Cub tractor half throttle. Don't run it wide open.
Yeah.
Those days are gone. So engines are designed to run max throttle, but it's only 33 to 3600 RPMs. So
Okay.
you're not
So
killing.
they're designed for you to do just that.
Yep.
This
They're designed
push,
to run.
push the throttle all the way up.
That's right.
Now, when should you turn the blades on?
When it's
Now,
time to
here's-
mow.
I guess my question is I've had mowers when you had the full throttle on and you turn and then you pop the blades on and it sounds like the thing's going to fly apart. Now yours don't. If you got a new mower, it don't. But I'm just saying, I've even my new mower, I kind of baby it. I turn the blades on when I'm not at full throttle and then take it up to full
That's
throttle.
right.
Is that the way you should do
Yeah,
it?
above half throttle.
Yeah.
Turn them on. Make sure you're not discharging toward the glass door or anything.
Right.
Get a feel and
Yeah.
out in the middle of the yard and
I usually have my,
above half throttle.
if I'm thinking right when I'm on my mower,
Yeah.
I usually have the blades completely up,
Yeah.
not let down yet, and I get the throttle up just maybe half or a little more.
Yeah.
Turn the blades on, and then rev it up, and then let my deck down to where I'm going, and then take off.
Yeah. Even your clutch, those electric clutches on.
Yeah.
This is really technical here, but they're designed. A commercial clutch is designed to turn on and off 10,000 times.
Really.
So one of the ways you can help save your clutch is actually idling back down to about 3/4 or half, and then turn it off.
Turn it off.
So that's what the more people tell us.
Okay.
And we don't have a lot of clutch issues, but occasionally we do.
Yeah.
And we can
Well,
fix those and
When you're
keep
using
those
when you
going.
use something,
Yeah.
as much as a lot of these mowers get used,
Yeah,
some of these commercial guys, I mean, they're every day, all day.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to have good equipment.
Yeah, an average homeowner, and this is including, most of the homes in Lawrence County, they're an acre or two. They're a little bit bigger, or they may. Grandpa might give them 5 acres off the cornfield, and that's where we kind of like the way y'all live. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
out a little bit,
Yeah.
same way as we live.
Yeah.
So your yard's going to be acre, 2 acres with a house on it, maybe a barn.
Sure.
An average homeowner is going to mow 50 to 70 hours a year.
Really.
50 to 70 meter hours on that mower. So now a commercial cutter, he might be 500 to 700 hours a year.
Really.
Okay, so those are some things that we can help you with when determining which mower do I need to buy.
Sure.
And so
Sure.
we've got commercial guys that buy the upper scale residential mowers because they don't mow that many large yards. And if you just come by, we'd be love to
Yeah.
talk folks through those things and
Yeah.
help with the purchase
Interesting.
process.
Interesting. Very good. 8:34. We're with Bill Adams here. It's the Rent Right Hour, and a lot to talk about there too. We've just kind of scratched the surface of what you've got out there. You've got Troy-Bilt mowers and tillers.
We picked up Troy-Bilt this year.
Yeah.
We still have customers that come to us wanting a tractor style mower.
Yeah.
The people of Lawrence County are very, very familiar with tractor style mowers because many of us worked at Murray, Ohio for years and
Sure,
years, and that's
sure.
what we're used to.
Sure.
We have 42, 46, and 54-inch Troy-Bilt mowers. A common manufacturer name is going to be MTD.
Right.
And this is a spin-off of the MTD, which
Okay.
actually had a hand in Lawrence County here many years ago. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I sold 3 of these things last week, and good quality. We still work on them, color engines on those things. So come by and take a look. We've got them displayed well.
It's a good name brand
Yep.
equipment.
Troy-Bilt, riders, push mowers, and also tillers.
Those tillers are famous.
Aren't they though?
They are. They're famous.
Yep.
The
Yep.
Troy-Bilt tiller.
You know, it's almost, Jeff, it's kind of like buying a Coke. You go in,
Yeah.
I want a Coke.
Yeah.
And you hear in the tiller world, you'll say, well, go get my Troy-Bilt.
You go get the Troy-Bilt.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. They make, these, they used to have those commercials on TV. They made that gardening look so good
Yeah.
and so easy. And it is a lot easier with one of those Troy-Bilt
Sure.
tillers, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. You got cordless equipment,
We do.
which
Chris,
is super popular.
it's super popular. That's, again, I don't think we're much different than anybody else. I use something with a battery on it every day.
Right.
At our house, it's a blower. We blow out the garage, the dogs sleep in the garage, and
Yeah.
so forth. So either morning or afternoon, that handheld vacuums in my hand, blowing out the garage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would not do it if I had to plug in a cord every day
Probably not.
because of the ease we're talking about.
Yeah.
And so trimmers, chainsaws, blowers. We picked up a line by the name of Kress, Kress. It's
Yeah.
a German product. Their claim to fame is battery life,
Uh-huh.
and they're on target. And so I invite everybody to come by. There's some sales going on with Kress products. They're going to be
Right.
very well priced, midpoint. $249, $299. You can get you a really nice trimmer that's going to last longer. The batteries are going to last longer than a tank of gas on your gas power.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
They're really good stuff. Really, and so easy to use.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry
DeWalt.
about. I ain't no telling how many times over the years I've fought trying to start a weed eater, a gas-powered
yeah.
weed eater. When they get a little bit off, or maybe it's just not what it should be, or
That's
whatever.
right.
And get madder trying to start it than you actually doing the work.
That's right. That's
It's
right.
so much easier.
Kress.com is, you can go on there and look around. These are the guys that have the robot mowers, by the way.
Interesting.
Kress.
Okay,
And also DeWalt. We understand DeWalt.
that's a good name.
It's a fabulous name.
Yeah.
We use that in our rental fleet. Limb saws, chainsaws, weed eaters. We've got them. Batteries, if you need a few batteries for your handheld tools, just
Right.
go by. We've got those in stock.
Got them all in stock right there. So, I know that you guys are always busy. I was going to tell you, I'm switching gears on you just a little bit because you've got two different worlds over there. You've got Rent Right, of course, and you've got First Class Charter.
Yep.
And I was going to mention that because May, my daughter, whom you know, she wanted to go for a ride yesterday. We'd been in the house, for the weekend pretty much, hadn't done much. And so she came out and said, Dad, can we just go for a ride? And I was ready to too. I was ready to get out of the house. Mm-hmm. I said, yeah. I said, let's do. And so it was just me and her, and we took off. And she wanted to drive, of course, which was fine with me. And so we took off, little joyride. I went up to one of the auctions sites that we're going to have and checked on it and filled up with gas, went through the car wash. We had to stop at the store, and lo and behold, there were two first-class charter buses, beautiful white, sparkling white clean. I'm talking about sharp. And they were headed west.
Headed west, my child.
Headed west. And they were pulling out of the store about the time we were. I guess they'd filled up. Mm-hmm. And I said, no telling where they're going. And so we kind of fell in behind them, followed them all the way home. And so I thought of you. I get that was yesterday, I think, sometime yesterday.
Yeah.
But anyway, the first class charter deal is not. there's a lot of local use, but you got a lot of use from all over the country.
Yeah, it's more regional, and we those two particular motor coaches. I'm gonna correct you. They're not buses; they're motor coaches.
Sorry,
so
motor coaches.
so a quick story.
Stage coaches.
Stagecoach.
That's
there you
right.
go. We play the game sometime on the motor coaches. If you say the word bus, it costs you a quarter.
Oh,
And
okay.
so
it's not a bus; it's a coach.
I've lost a lot of money doing
Have you?
that, yeah. But those two, if I'm not mistaken, they were hauling military, and so that's a treat. Leaving
Oh,
out
wow,
on
yeah.
Memorial Day. And,
Especially that day.
Yep.
Yeah, especially
and,
Memorial Day.
Yeah, they were picking up somewhere around Memphis and going south, probably down around Fort Polk. I call it Fort Polk. They've changed the name to Johnson.
Yeah.
So it's still Fort Polk to me.
Yeah.
And
Like
so,
Fort Hood, by the way.
Fort Hood.
Yes.
There you go. But
In Texas.
yeah, that's a treat for us to haul our troops, and either to basic training or maybe some specialty training. And we've had privilege of hauling troops. They were headed out to Iraq and in different places. So
Oh, wow.
it's a highly secretive type deal. You know,
Sure.
there's only a few motor coach companies in the United States that's certified and qualified to haul troops, and we're one of the less than 400. I think it's 385 of us
Wow.
that can haul.
That's pretty
military.
amazing, actually.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That's good. Good for you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. And they were just beautiful. Those motor coaches were pretty. I'll just have to
they
say
are.
that. They're
Yeah.
pretty.
Fabulous
Messy.
drivers, and you know, those are highly trained drivers, and so we're proud of our driving crew.
Is there the training for the drivers? And I may be going off in the direction you don't want to, but where does that take place?
A lot of them, you know, you've got to have a CDL,
Yes.
commercial driver's license, CDL,
Yeah.
and then above that, it's a P endorsement, P or S. If you have an S endorsement, that encompasses a P. S meaning a school bus, all right,
Okay.
or P for passenger.
Okay.
And then, of course, when they come our way, we monitor, depending on their training level, and if they need additional training, we provide that. If not,
Sure.
we see what they can do, and we
Right.
go to work.
Okay.
But,
Good
so,
deal. Well, I'm gonna poke you just a little bit because I know it's the motor coaches, but you do have a bus over there.
Oh, I got a bus.
You do have a bus.
You want to talk about my
you,
bus?
You do have a bus over there. I
do.
saw this certain kind of bus over there, and I'm like, what in
Yeah.
the world? What in the
Yeah.
world are you doing with that bus?
Well, I'm looking at this picture right behind you. It says WDXE, and it says Sheriff John Myers on it.
Yes.
I talked to Sheriff Myers. We bought a prison bus.
You
Jeff.
got a prison bus.
Yeah, and
Sure enough.
I have so enjoyed that. Even today, Jimmy and I went to look at it, and she was holding her head. She said, "Why in the world do you want a prison bus?" I said, "Well, not everybody has a prison bus."
Just because you want one.
So we're actually we've got a purpose for it.
I was gonna say you didn't do it without a purpose.
But that bus came, it was used at Riverbend Maximum Security Prison. I've got some paperwork that came
Yeah.
with it.
I've been there, but not in there.
Oh, okay.
I've been there, but not in there. Yes.
So you were trying to sell them some services.
I was trying to sell them services at one
Yeah.
time. Yes.
But anyway, it still has the cages in it, and you know, the buckle up seats where you buckle their legs in, and got the bars on the side of the
You
window.
gave me and Daniel a tour of that thing.
We did, isn't that fun?
It was fun. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, what are your plans for it? Maybe.
Well, we are going to use it for. You look at you grin. We are going to use it for summer camp.
There you go. There you go. See.
So, people, they really chuckle when we're talking about it. We're gonna, Cowboy Church. We got a motto: "Save to serve."
Yes.
And so the plan is to use that bus for during camp, and we'll be going out to different work sites and doing work
Yeah.
around the area, over around Dixon.
Okay.
So camp's going to be this summer, and the idea behind the cages, we're going to be locking up our tools at night, not kids, but tools.
Yes.
So
there you go. So it does have a good, useful purpose.
Yeah.
Beyond just
Yeah.
a plain old
Yeah,
prison bus.
but I am gonna leave Tennessee Department of Corrections on the side.
No way. Just for fun.
Yeah, don't you think?
Yeah, you can tell everybody it's a special church group.
Yeah.
I'm picking, I know.
Some have picked. They said that's you're gonna have it in the Christmas parade,
You should.
maybe.
You should.
Yeah.
You should. I will ride in there with you.
Okay.
I'll ride in it with you.
Okay.
And maybe we should dress up in some orange suits while we're doing it.
Well, we probably ought to ask the sheriff.
Well, I guess we could. Maybe we could. 8:45, we're visiting with Bill Adams, the Rent Right Hour going on here. And of course, we invite you to check out that website, rentrightequipment.com. And you know, something else we hadn't talked about much here with you is you guys are a FedEx dropping point.
We sure are. We've
Yeah.
got a special treat for customers that come our way. We have Miss May recently came on as an intern with us. And
Yeah.
we were proud to have her and doing a fabulous job. Her charge is the FedEx Ship Center. We do ship ground shipments and also express. They pick up once a day, and we can create labels for you. We've got the packaging for you. So even if you just need a quote on shipment, please come by. Be glad
That
to
is
help you
so
with that.
handy.
It really is.
I've had to utilize it a few times, and
Yeah.
when you do, I mean, even if you don't have, you know, what you think you might need to ship, you guys have got it.
We do.
Yeah,
we
and
do.
so you don't have to do all that preparing. You say, I've got this, I need to get
Yeah.
somewhere. Can you help me get it somewhere? And you guys have got all the stuff there to make it happen.
Yeah. You know, one thing, please remember us with the service, but also if you just can't remember where it is in town, just Google FedEx.com location. We'll come up. We're one of the first ones that come up.
Oh, really? That's
Rent
good.
Right. So yeah, it's a great service. We're there from 7:30 till 4 every day, and we'll take packages all day. I know the UPS drop off. You know, they open at 3, and it's inconvenient. Is what
Right.
we're hearing, but we can take packages all day long.
Take them all day.
FedEx rates are very
And
reasonable.
they'll either go out that day, and if it's late evening, they'll go out the next day. Is that right?
Yep, next day.
Yeah, so something like that, all the time. Good service. That's
Yeah.
good to know that you've got that overnight and ground or whatever you need.
We can do it. Yeah.
Awesome, good deal, good deal. You know, you mentioned it briefly, but you guys do a lot of repair work, service work.
We do. We take in, you know, our number one service is for the public is Hustler mowers, but we're taking in other brands too. Maybe something that where you're having issues keeping it running right. Bring it to us. Let us look at it. We'll be glad to do it. We've got Gary in the shop. We've got Keith in the shop. We've got Tucker in the shop. So Cynthia or May will be the sweet voices you'll hear when you call, and
Yeah.
we'll set up a time.
Now, what about pickup and delivery? I mean, if
Love
somebody,
to do that for
I was
you.
gonna say, I mean, you know, some people they've got a mower problem or they got some kind of
Yep.
issue and just don't have the means to get it to
No,
you.
we'll be glad to take care of it. Don't let that be an issue. We'll pick it up and deliver it back to you. Even on new equipment, we'll deliver and pick up in those situations. So
That's good.
don't let that be a problem for you.
Awesome, good. Awesome, good. Well, I know that you said over the weekend. I'm going to switch subjects on you again just a little bit. We'll come back to some of the more of your services. But say you had a good weekend, and did you do the cooking? Did you cook out?
No, I usually try to find a sister. I've got 3 sisters.
Oh, really?
So whoever's cooking, that's where we go. And now Jim Ann's not, you know, she'll cook, but we were invited, so we just let one of my sisters cook.
Well,
for us.
did they grill for you?
Grilled and, you know, have
Oh my gosh!
banana pudding.
No way.
Yep.
Well, I had to do the grilling.
Sat by the pool, you know. It's-
Oh my
it
goodness!
was
Put your
good.
toes in the pool and everything.
Yeah, you know,
Well, I be.
whatever.
Well, you had a really fantastic weekend then. You really did.
Yeah.
You know, I find myself getting frustrated. I'm not necessarily one of those people that really enjoys grilling.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of men really do. They just really get into it. Mark Rowland up here, he talks about he grills all the time and loves it. I find myself getting frustrated trying.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you got to get all the stuff out. You got to drag it out to there, and you got to hope the dog don't jump up on it, and then it gets hot.
Well, I don't see the problem, but, we're just gonna have to work on that.
And then there's somebody that's always telling me how to grill while I'm
Oh.
trying to grill.
I don't have that issue.
You don't?
No. No, I don't have that one. So, I just can't feel sorry for you, man.
I know. Nobody does.
Sorry.
Nobody does. Actually, though, I tell you what, I've enjoyed the griddle more so than I did grill.
Oh, yeah.
That is enjoyable.
Yeah.
I like it. And
Yeah.
I got to use that this weekend and had the onions going and the dogs going,
Yeah.
and I did some smash burgers, and that was fun.
That's fun.
I'm carrying on, but I really did enjoy that. We had a good time. My grandbaby was there, and he has discovered that he can go places. He has become mobile and climbs, and I mean he's never still. So somebody has to watch him all the time. As a matter of fact, he did a face plant, and he's got a little bruise on his cheek right here. Got a little black eye, which is his first one. First black eye.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
So anyway, we enjoyed him and all the family over the weekend with all the stuff we got going on.
Yeah, we did too.
Good
We
stuff.
Really did.
Good stuff. But back to work. It's work time again.
Yes, sir.
And I mentioned it earlier. All the grass is growing. We have a lot of clover.
A lot of clover this year.
There is. I mean, it's heavy.
Yeah.
It's thick, heavy. And I've had a good stand of grass, but this year it seems
Yeah.
like the clover has really shown
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Of which Teresa likes it,
Yeah.
but a lot of people don't like it in their yard.
Yeah, it's kind of clumpy, but you can oversee. We can wrench an aerator, and
That's what I was going to say. I bet you could solve that problem.
we can help you solve that problem.
Help me. Teresa won't like it, but I need to get rid of some. I think I've got so much clover. You can't. It's almost all
Yeah,
clover.
maybe some spray, and then come back with aeration.
I think
this
if
fall.
I killed my clover, I wouldn't have any green at all.
No, we got to work on your yard, man. We're gonna have to get with it. Real estate guy needs to have a great looking yard.
I know. What are we going to do?
Yeah, it's kind of like the cobbler when his kids didn't have any shoes.
Yes. I think that's about right. That's about right. So how would we solve that? Sure enough, with the stuff that you've got over there.
Yeah, I would. First thing I would do is on your yard, and I don't think your yard looks that bad, man.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah,
I just have a lot of
it
clover.
looks great. You'd probably want to spray, and then get some recommendations on spray, and then come back middle of August, September, and then aerate real good, overseed. Let it grow.
Let her grow. Let her grow.
Yep.
I found out from you, and you gave some good advice about the how short or how tall to cut your grass.
Yeah. What we've learned, especially with fescue grass, which is prominent in this part of the world,
Yep.
is if about 3 inches to start the year off, and then as we're getting into June, like we are now, June, July, you might even go up to 4 inches on height.
Yep.
And as a rule, if you've got 4 inches of grass on top, that's how much root you're gonna have under the ground.
Right.
So these hot summers, dry summers like last year,
Yeah.
the ones that weren't scalping their yards down low, but had a taller grass with more root, their yards really made it really nicely through the heat.
Yeah.
If you remember last August, September, October,
Yeah.
which was we really had a drought. So I'd recommend that, and we can help you with that with the mowing equipment that we have. Good sharp blades will really help. Instead of tearing the grass, you're actually cutting.
Right.
With good sharp blades. Keep your tip speeds up. Hustler is one of the fastest tip speeds on the market on purpose, and that's where you get that good cut. So
How do you make it stripe?
well, with a Hustler, you don't. It's automatic. It can't help it.
It just does.
So it just does it. But the technology or the physics behind mowing, actually, what you're doing with the blades, it's like a fan.
Yeah.
It's actually picking up or actually blowing the grass up and then cutting it at the same time.
Okay.
So when you change directions, it's laying the grass down in the opposite way.
Yeah.
So it's not a hard thing to do.
They go one way, back and forth.
Yep.
Go back and forth. It'll stripe it. Yeah,
Yep.
sure will. Hey, before we go, I was just going to remind everybody of a little bit of the rental equipment that's available there. You've got a long list of rental equipment.
We do.
And you got trailers for hauling, trailers for rent and for sale. Do you have enclosed trailers?
I don't.
Don't have
Well, we
enclosed?
do, but we don't
Do
really
those?
offer
Okay.
those.
I just asked.
Yeah.
But you got, of course, all the lawn maintenance equipment that we've talked about, sod cutter, straw blower.
Yeah.
That's when you need something like that. You need something. Like
Yeah, it's not something that you just buy, and you can rent it for a reasonable rate.
that. Aeration equipment, bed edger. You got that. You got tillers, limb saws, skid loaders, a backhoe.
Yeah,
Now, a man can have fun with a backhoe.
I think Daniel would love it for a weekend.
We could have fun with the backhoe.
Yeah.
We've got a little area down there in the back part of our place that it looks to me like we could get a hold of something
Yeah,
with the backhoe.
Yeah.
Now, tell us about the backhoe.
backhoe. We on purpose we use the Kubota brand. We like Kubota.
Yep.
And easy haul, and you can haul that piece with a 3/4 ton truck, so we can deliver, or you can pull it yourself.
Okay.
About a 45 horsepower,
Yeah.
and just I think 11-foot reach. Great for pools or foundations. Or,
Yeah.
Or just
What about the ease of use with that thing?
very easy.
Yeah.
That's one reason we like to.
Because some of that
deliver.
stuff could be intimidating for some people.
Some of it is.
Yeah.
But that's something we research heavily.
Yeah.
Is ease of use, and we call it rentable or non-rentable
Right.
items. And if it's a tough item to run, it's probably not rentable.
Right.
So we steer away from certain things like that. Levers, it's just if you can run a video game, you can run one of these.
In a few minutes, you could be handling that bucket pretty well.
Daniel would be better at it than you.
Probably.
Yes.
Probably so. Probably so. He's better at a lot of things than I am. I watched him and Shepard playing yesterday with their out in the backyard with a ball, and they were clobbering home runs on each other. And then they came inside and played video games. And listen, the video game world has lost me.
It lost me in the 70s.
I mean, I used to play Frogger,
the
maybe,
80s, yeah.
and was it Frogger and Pac-Man or something?
Pac-Man.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the video game world has completely lost me. I can watch them do it, and I still don't know what's going on. But they seem to. They got it down pat. It's a big, big world.
That's right. One thing I want to offer, Jeff, on Hustler equipment, people that are listening today, and if you'll mention the radio program today,
Yes.
the Hustler Hour, Rent
Yes.
Right Hour,
Yeah.
take $250 off of your purchase.
Really?
So if you'll
On the mower purchase.
on the more purchase,
Yes.
and if they'll do that, just mention my name, Bill, and just say, hey, I heard you on the radio.
Just say, hey, we saw you. We
And,
heard you on
yep.
WDXE. The Rent
And
Right
I'd be
Hour.
glad to do that. We really appreciate our customers.
That's a good deal. That's a great deal.
Is that a good deal?
That's a great deal.
Okay.
I like that deal.
All right.
I like that deal. We're about to run out of time, but Bill, it's always fun to talk to you. Always enjoy it, and we look forward to next Tuesday coming back and be with us. And of course, I'll see you between now and then. We've got stuff to do, all that kind of stuff to do. You got to get to work. I got to go do the real job. It is 8:59. You're listening to WDXE, the Rent Right Hour, and of course, you can watch it on Facebook and YouTube. If you missed it, you can always go back and look at it. That's right.
Appreciate you.
All right. Check out that website, rentrightequipment.com. What's the phone number to Rent Right, right quick?
931-762-8187.
762-8187. And don't forget the FedEx drop-off and all that you can do there at Rent Right. It's located on Buffalo Road, where it's been for the get-go.
1978.
1978. Thank
sir.
you, Bill.
Thank you, Jeff.
See you, buddy.
New York, I'm Dave Anthony.
There is no line.
The former president once again insisting before going